Remember as a child attaching a string between two cans and trying to talk and listen through them? Or how about the game of telephone, where you and your friend sat in a circle and one person whispered to another something? By the time it made it all the way around the circle, the original message had been incredibly distorted. Ever wonder where these games came from? Today, I want to inform you on the history of an important part of our everyday lives, the telephone. The telephone is a huge convenience to us in our society. The progression of communication by phone has changed a lot over the years and has many uses attached to it. Thinking of the use of my own phone on a daily basis motivated me to do more research on something that is taken so much for granted but such a huge benefit to us. I'm Summer Mangus. Today I want to share the results of my research with you, which will include knowledge about Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone, how it has progressed throughout history, and the many uses for it today. Alexander Graham Bell was born on March 3, 1847, to a deaf mother and father who worked with the deaf and developed what we call today phonetics. Alexander grew up learning the study of phonetics. He went through the various levels of school and eventually, by 1873, was a professor at Boston University. There he met a girl named Maybelle Hubbard. She had lost her hearing before the age of 5. She would end up being an important part of Mr. Bell's life in later years. Alexander started doing experiments. He was working on one which involved the harmonic telegraph, which was a tool that could transmit numerous messages at the same time. He needed help from someone knowledgeable in electrical engineering and hired a man named Thomas Watson. According to Ellen Bailey, author of Alexander Bell Graham, Background and Early Life, in June of 1875, the two discovered how to transmit real sounds by accident. A vibrating reed in the experimental telegraph got stuck. Watson pulled on the reed harder than normal, resulting in a transmitted twang. Alexander began courting Maybelle Hubbard and ended up getting very close to her father, Gardner. Gardner knew of Alexander's experiments and applied for a patent. On March 10, 1876, Bell and Watson were working together again. Watson was downstairs at one end of the contraption and Bell was upstairs at the opposite. They had the doors closed. Bell accidentally spilled battery acid on his clothes and yelled out for help. This was the very first telephone transmission in history. Less than a month later, the team was granted their patent. In the year 1877, Mr. Hubbard became the first president and helped found Bell Telephone Company. On July 11, 1877, Alexander and Maybelle were married. They had made a fortune. Now that we know about the birth of the telephone, let's look at how it has evolved. According to Cellular Evolution by Stephanie Minta, scientist at AT&T's Bell Labs, first came up with the idea of the cell phone back in 1947. However, it would take decades before the first wireless phone was invented. The first cell phone was invented in 1972 by Marty Cooper, an executive for Motorola. This phone was 2.5 pounds and only lasted for 10 minutes of talk time. It had to be perfected. On October 13, 1983, our country's first lasting cell phone call took place to none other than Alexander Bell's grandson in Berlin. It would still be a slow start to wireless service. The major turning point came in 1998. By this time, many companies were involved in competing for customers, which resulted in lower prices than in the past. Today, wireless is a $325 billion industry. It has not only changed the way people communicate, but the way they act as well. When was the last time you turned your car around because you left your cell phone somewhere? Or were frantic because you couldn't find it? Cell phones make our lives a lot easier with quick communicating anywhere, anytime. The simple cell phone has grown into such a complex device capable of texting, taking pictures, checking your email, games, music, and surfing the web. Cell phones have also been linked to stopping criminal activity. These ways include photos and videos of crimes, text messaging alerts such as the Amber Alert, and of course the most obvious, calling for help. Cell phones also have GPS tracking devices which make it easier for police to track criminals. According to the Daily Press article in July of 2009, cell phones are increasingly used as a witness in the courtroom. During a case in California, 2 men were being tried for murder, and based on tracking, they were placed at the scene of the crime, resulting in their convictions. It's been a long time since the day when communication by phone didn't even exist. Today we learned who invented the telephone, how it was discovered, as well as the progression of it over time. We discovered that it's no longer used for a single purpose. This information has definitely given me a deeper appreciation for the convenience and uses it provides for us. The quality of transmitting information to others today is much different than a child's game of telephone. Next time you pick up a phone to use it in one of the various ways, I hope you have a much deeper understanding of how significant it really is. Excuse me, my cell phone's ringing. I better take this. Hello? Hello?